Did you know there are biblical promises that can transform your finances from the inside out? These aren't magic formulas, they're eternal principles that still bear fruit today. Today, I'll share 7 promises that can change your relationship with money forever. Promises that have sustained people through abundance, scarcity, crisis, and restoration. Stay until the end, because the last promise might open a door you didn't know existed. Welcome to the Golden Bible 14K, your daily space for inspiration and financial wisdom. Here we connect God's Word with real decisions that shape your economy. In this video, you'll discover 7 promises that have carried generations through difficult times. Each promise comes with a verse, a biblical story, and a practical application. At the end, I'll share a prayer and reflection to help activate these promises in your life. If this content inspires you, follow, share, and leave a comment. Promise 1. Provision in times of scarcity. My God will supply all your needs according to His riches in glory. Philippians 4:19. This promise reminds us that provision doesn't depend on the economic system. Elijah lived through a drought, yet God used ravens to feed him daily. Can you imagine receiving food from birds in the middle of the desert? That's supernatural provision. It's not about how, it's about who provides. When you trust God, even the unlikely becomes possible. Today, remember, your source isn't your job, it's your faith. Activate this promise with gratitude and trust. Promise 2. Multiplication through obedience. Honor the Lord with your wealth, and your barns will be filled. Proverbs 3:9-10. Multiplication doesn't always start with abundance. Sometimes it begins with obedience in scarcity. The widow of Zarephath had only a little flour and oil, but she chose to share it with the prophet Elijah. The result? She never lacked food during the entire drought. Obedience activates invisible but powerful principles. It's not about how much you have, it's about how you give it. When you honor God with the little, He multiplies it. Today, consider, what can you give in faith? Promise 3. Wisdom for financial decisions. If anyone lacks wisdom, let him ask God. James 1:5. Wisdom is more valuable than gold when making decisions. Joseph didn't just interpret dreams, he designed Egypt's economic plan. His wisdom saved entire nations from famine. And guess what? That wisdom is available to you. You don't need to know everything, you just need to ask in faith. God can give you ideas, strategies, and clarity for your decisions. Before making a financial move, pray for wisdom. Wisdom protects you from costly mistakes and guides you toward real opportunities. Promise 4. Peace in uncertainty. Do not be anxious about anything, and the peace of God will guard your hearts. Philippians 4:6-7. Peace isn't the absence of problems, it's the presence of trust. Jesus slept during a storm while others were afraid. How is it possible to have peace in chaos? Because peace comes from knowing who is with you. In times of financial pressure, peace is your invisible asset. You can't buy it, you receive it by faith. Today, take a deep breath and give your worries to God. Peace doesn't remove the storm, but it holds you inside it. Promise 5. Protection from unjust losses. The Lord is your defender. He will rescue your cause. Proverbs 23:11. Job lost everything, but God restored double. When you face unjust losses, God doesn't just restore, He rewards. He sees what others don't and fights for what belongs to you. Sometimes the system fails, but God never does. If you've been affected by fraud, injustice, or financial abuse, this promise is for you. Trust that your case is in righteous hands. God doesn't forget what was taken, and He knows how to return it with purpose. Promise 6. Guidance for investments and decisions. Acknowledge Him in all your ways, and He will make your paths straight. Proverbs 3:6. Abraham followed God's direction and prospered in a foreign land. Divine guidance prevents costly mistakes. Before investing, starting a business, or making decisions, seek His direction. God doesn't just bless, He leads. Sometimes what looks profitable isn't right. But when God leads, even the small becomes a blessing. Today, before you move, ask God, is this the path? Promise 7. Generosity that transforms. The generous soul will prosper. Proverbs 11:25. Cornelius was generous, and his prayers were heard. Generosity isn't loss, it's sowing. When you give in faith, you open doors you didn't know existed. Generosity transforms your environment, your heart, and your finances. It's not just about money, it's about attitude. Be generous and watch your economy align with heaven. Today, give with joy and expect with faith. Today you discovered 7 promises that can transform your financial life from the root. Provision, multiplication, wisdom, peace, protection, guidance, and generosity. These aren't just ideas, they're realities available to those who believe. Reflect. Which of these promises do you need to activate today? May your heart align with these truths, and may your finances be transformed. Lord, help us trust your promises and walk in wisdom, peace, and generosity. May every financial decision be guided by your truth and purpose. If this content inspired you, follow, share, and leave a comment. Faith doesn't just move mountains, it transforms your finances. Thank you for being here. See you in the next video.